Welcome to Feminine Intuition. I am Kimse Lamiel here with Montique Stefan, where we're going to be taking a look at male personality types and how we as women can gain understanding as to why men behave the way they do and how we as women can better communicate with them. So, Montique, can you explain a little bit more about this for us?
Sure. I can say thank you for having me. Well, first of all, we have to understand that a lot of times women don't realize that men, in and of themselves, have a lot of different, really quirky personality traits that specifically impact their behavior. So, many times when women might think that a guy is acting some way just because he's a guy, or a guy is acting some way just because he has a penis. The truth
Yeah.
Having a penis doesn't make you act certain ways, but I mean, there's a certain personality that each man has, and that's going to change how we interact. It's going to change how we react, and it's going to change the way that we determine and communicate what we have to do with you. So, in that sense, personalities are huge. You have alpha, beta, omega, delta, gamma, sigma. We're talking about lots of different differentiation from guy to guy. And the more that you queens really can understand what type of guy that you have, the more that you're going to be able to understand his behavior, and the better you'll be able to communicate yourself to him so he understands you and understands your intent.
Okay, so let's put this to the test here. There's a lot of personality types.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to say how old I am, but we'll say I've had a couple of relationships. And I remember distinctly there was a time in my life where I was attracting what seemed like to be the same kind of guy. And I couldn't figure out, like, what am I supposed to do with this, right? So he was First of all, anybody who knows me or knows anything about me, there's very little regimen, outside of my spiritual practice in my life. These guys were, one in particular, extremely regimen. Like, he wanted to eat the same food on the same day of the week. If I said I wanted my foot rubbed, like, he was buying all these books on how to do reflexology. He spent a lot of time wanting to groom me.
He penciled you in at 5.
Yeah, well, anything I wanted to do, it was like he wanted to be the person who did it. If I had a day off where I really wasn't doing anything and I talked to him like all day, the next day it was like, what's wrong with you? This is what we normally do on Tuesdays, right? It's like, well, today I got something else to do. So in addition to being like extra regimen, which he knew I didn't have regimen at all, that's just not my life, but he was so grooming to the point where I was questioning, like, is he gay? Like, he wanted to brush my hair.
He wanted to brush your hair.
He wanted to, like, he was running the bath water, and then he wanted to sit there and bathe me, which is fine, like, once in a while, but I'm talking like every bath.
No, okay, wait a second. All right, so let me ask you a couple questions. First of all, what did this guy do for like a job?
One of them worked for the cable company, had been there for like 17 years.
Okay. She's a cable company guy. So that is a job that is very time oriented. He'd probably get fired if he isn't on time and take care of his job on time and get to the next order. So I mean, we can see where time plays a role in his life. I don't necessarily know how that kind of equates into him wanting to brush your hair yet.
Right. I'm saying he was very like, let me paint your toenails. Let me do everything. Like, he wanted to be my girlfriend.
Okay. Now this is something interesting. Now, the question is did he want to be your girlfriend? Or does he really, really like when you are appreciative and smile at him? And does he really, really like feeling needed by you. This is something that you have to ask yourself, right? Because there's some type of guys out here that have had situations where they themselves don't have a lot of male friends. They don't have a whole lot of, they don't have a lot of appreciation for themselves.
Okay.
They don't necessarily, these are not the guys kind of walking around like, yeah, I'm the shit. No. These guys, a lot of times, draw appreciation from themselves based upon another person appreciating them. So, they will do things like offer to do this and that and the other. They'll almost submit themselves to do things that you didn't even ask them to do. But to some degree, it's self-serving because they themselves really need to feel needed. They need to feel appreciated in order to feel good about themselves. And let me ask you a quick question. In a situation with this guy, was there any times where you told him that he could do something for you, but then decided to do it for yourself for whatever reason? You know, you had to get it done faster and he was late, whatever happened. And did he get pissed off?
Oh, absolutely. Because I don't want to wait. So, yeah, I mean, he was very agitated if I changed my mind. Like, even if I didn't do it, I just decided I didn't want to.
Yeah, because
never mind, forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, so what you're talking about, this is classic beta behavior. Now, beta males have a lot of variation in them, but one thing that is consistent is that beta males really, really need to feel needed. So when you decide to change up and revoke some type of job or some type of responsibility that beta male has, he takes it as a personal affront. He takes it as an affront on him as an individual because he's looking at it like, what? What, you don't like me no more. Like what? That's what I do. You know, that's the role that I play. Because that role, having that responsibility in your life is really, really important. It does something for him as a man. You understand?
So does that mean then we, as women dealing with that personality type, we have to be careful about the responsibilities or the roles that we give them?
Sure.
Because, you know, a lot of times women, when you have a man around and it's like, oh, can you do this? Oh, can you do that? And like now I have adult sons. So if you're not here, then I'm going to ask them to do it. It's not that I'm saying this is your role for me. You know, it's just something I need you to do right now.
Okay. See, realize that if you're going to really be serious about a beta, you got to give them some roles to run with. Let me give you an example. In Japan, now I'm not trying to say all Japanese men are betas because I don't want to get attacked by a horde of ninjas.
Okay.
All Japanese ninjas listening to the show, this is no diss. A lot of you guys are probably alphas and gammas and sigmas and real gangsters, okay? But for those of you that know that every single week, you give your whole check to your wife, you're a beta. And this is culture. This is actually a cultural thing in Japan. And I'm not trying to say that, again, I know a lot of you alphas over there that do it. It's just cultural, so you're doing it. Like, you're really a thug. But it's cultural in Japan for the men, when they come, they turn over their whole check. Not 50%.
Wow.
The whole thing. Here, Ma, that's you. You got this. But see, in their society, because there are certain communication, I'm not going to say breakdowns because that'd be disrespectful to their society and their culture, but there's certain communiques that are not had between the man and the woman pertaining to the man's manliness. A man defines himself by that ability. I define myself because for the last 25 years I've come home and I've given my woman a check every single week, and for that reason I'm a man. Right?
Okay.
And they stand on that. They stand on that. Okay? So all that to say, reversing over, if you guys are going to deal with the beta male, have a couple of things that you let that man do, and if you really want to make him feel good, love him up for them things. Tell him, like, hug him and kiss all on him and tell him that he did such a good job. Tell him how good of the job that he did. Tell him that he did it that day better than ever.
So he really needs his ego stroke, in other words.
Well, in this situation, it's a little bit more than his ego. We're talking about it's like this masculine concept. We're talking about his definition as a man. These guys, many of them, not all, some but all. These guys, many of them, define themselves as men based upon the positive reaction and the dependency that their woman has on him. My woman can depend on me to do these things. She knows I'm going to take care of business.
So if you're just dating, I feel like that's a lot to ask. How are you? Okay, maybe you're just dating or you work together. You know what I mean?
Okay. I can give you. You can shorten it up now. Yeah, like the whole full in, life responsibilities thing. It's not going to be the same. Like, you're not going to be like some guy you're dating, expecting him to do your taxes. Okay.
Right.
That's something that you give to your man, though. A beta man will love doing that to you. But if it's a dating thing, right? Then, you can have him take you to you can have him to take you to specific places you want to go to on time. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You might feel like, oh, this is using the guy, but no, he loves that type of stuff. Like, he wants you to tell him stuff like this. I want you to take me to the aquarium on Thursday, and I want to go at 5 o'clock, and I want to have lunch there, and I want to order these things. He's going to remember each and every one of those different things that you want to do, and he's going to revel in doing each and every one with you. And all you have to do to make him feel like he's on cloud 9 is let him know that that's just what you wanted.
Okay. And if he's just somebody in the office that I have to interact with on a regular basis?
And what, you want him to like you, or you want him to like you, or to go and just get along?
I just want to get along. I don't need everybody to love me.
Yeah. Okay. You're a thug. All right. The thug came out. Okay. Look. When it comes to just getting along, just tell him he did a good job on stuff.
Okay.
I saw that memo that you typed. I love those fonts that you use. What fonts were those? He'll be like, oh yeah, I used the Times New Roman.
Okay, I get that. Okay, that's great. So we've got a couple of questions. I guess examples here. So one of them is she wants to know, why doesn't her man like it when she gives him advice?
Oh, I wish this is somebody we had on the phone so we could ask more in-depth questions. But we can deal. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a situation where a man didn't like giving you advice? I mean, when you gave a man advice, he would kind of get pissed off.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I don't need any help. Hang up on me. Whatever it was, yes, most definitely.
He hang up on you. He hung up on you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that right now.
That's crazy. See, this is what I'm saying. That's why men are so different. Because me, man, I love when people give me advice. I feel like so honored that people care enough with all the crap going on in the world to give me like 10, 15 minutes to think about,
Oh
me and what I'm
no.
doing.
No, he was very much like, I already know what to do because anybody in this situation would know what to do. And I'm thinking,
Oh,
well, why ain't you did that then? Why are we
oh,
standing here?
I ain't did it because I ain't feel like doing it yet. I want to talk
Right.
about it. Now that's one thing though to think about, right? Is you have personalities like sigmas, alphas, sigmas and alphas, and sometimes deltas. These different personality types a lot of times have the most machismo. You know that word?
I've heard it, but I'm not real familiar with what is
Okay,
that really?
so I'm Brazilian, right? I'm Brazilian, and machismo is like, it's almost kind of like that very, very overly masculine energy. Like when you think of like a bullfighter, okay? When you think of like a
Okay.
bullfighter, when you think of like a guy that's just like very, very concerned with having everybody else know that he is the man. I'm the man in the situation. I wear the pants. So in Brazilian culture, we call that machismo.
Okay.
All right. So check it out. Deltas, alphas, sigmas all have varying amounts of it. But there's something that you just said that made me think that in this situation, this guy might have been a sigma. Is because alphas aren't going to tell you that they have a problem. They're just going to mope around. They'll just be real mopey. They'll mope around, or they'll like just kind of be distant. And what happens is what? Like, you being that wonderful, caring woman, right? You run over to him and be like, what's wrong? What's going on? What's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. And he's kind of giving you this look like, I don't even want to talk to you right now. That's an alpha stuff. Very seldom is
Okay.
an alpha gonna like jump out there and be like, this is what's going on with you. You have to dig for it. Okay? But sigmas will kind of rant about a problem. And then they'll get mad when you try to give them advice about it, if you're a woman.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, they'll be like, man, I'm at the job, this boss, every daggone day, this joker keeps getting in my face and asking me if I looked over the work that I turned in. And I've been working here for 5 years. Dude, don't you know I understand to look over my work? You don't have to come over here second guessing me, champ. You don't have to do that. And you'll be like, well, why don't you attach a yellow sticker to the work every time you turn it in, and he'll know that yellow sticker means that you looked over it. He'll be like, now what the hell do I look like going out and buying some yellow stickers? I'm
Yes.
a man.
That is exactly.
Why are you even talking to me?
Right. And you said that's a sigma.
That's a sigma.
Wow.
That's a sigma.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say sigmas. We'll talk more.
And
I'm not trying to say
that's a
sigmas
key
are all
phrase.
like
Like, why
that.
are you even talking to me? It's like, didn't you just ask me a question? What the hell?
Yeah, I
What's
asked you,
going
but I
on
ain't asked you
here?
to respond to the question, though. I was just
Or at least
asking.
not with those stuff.
That's not those stupid ideas that you got.
Wow. Okay, so when you're dealing with that kind of person, right? And that sounds like a hard person to be at work with.
Whoa, whoa. A lot of times they're your boss.
Wonderful. So we as women, how should we really be interacting with them in a way that doesn't make us think, what a fucking dumbass.
Be on his side. Just rant with them. So give me an example. Okay, so give me a rant real quick about some woman that's been getting on your nerves at the job. Just off the top. I'll show you how to do it.
She's always taken credit for work I did. She asked me how to do it.
Hey,
she don't even know how to.
Bump her. What she's trying to take? She's trying to take credit for your stuff. Forget her. Forget her. When you see her, just like act like she doesn't even exist. Forget her. That's how you deal with a Sigma.
So you become like their little personal cheerleader.
Exactly. That's what they want. They don't really want when they rant about something or act like they got a problem. You have to know that they're already coming up with some really devious, nefarious way to kind of screw that person over. You have to know that's already in their mind. They already know exactly what they're going to do to stab that person in the back. Sigmas don't play. Like 50 Cent is a Sigma. Sigmas don't play. They're very, very. They on some get back. Don't be a Sigma and a Cancer. Oh God. But they on some.
Oh my gosh! Really?
50 Cent is a Sigma and a Cancer. He's gonna get back forever. He's never gonna forget, and he's always gonna hate you. There's nothing you can ever do about it. Hate's perpetual, right?
Wow. Okay, so if you're dating a guy like that, it's still just sort of cheer on.
Yeah.
Whatever his issues are.
Yep.
How do you get somebody like that to do the things that you want them to do then?
Sigmas are overbearing as hell. Once you become that cheerleader person, they're just going to spoil the hell out of you. They're like alphas. I mean, they're like alphas, except they're more openly aggressive. You know, alphas a lot of times, what people don't know is alphas a lot of times be getting beat up. You know, alphas get jumped a lot. They're very independent. You know, they're very independent and they're not afraid to be themselves, right? But that can be a dangerous thing in this world. You know, not being afraid to be yourself and then being yourself and being by yourself in many cases.
Right.
That can be very dangerous. And alphas a lot of times get like ran out of town, you know, by groups of betas and stuff like that. But Sigmas, they are more communicative, and they're more about being in control. Sigmas love control, right? So, you know, a Sigma will recognize a beta male, and he'll talk to that beta male and put him under and make that beta male want to get under his wing. Whereas Alpha will be like, well, fuck with you. Can I curse on this show? I'm sorry.
Yes. Go right ahead.
I'm sorry, Gwen. Well, Alpha will be like, you know, fuck what you think. I don't care what you think. But see, that sometimes will result in an ass whooping, right?
Right.
There's some big mean beta males out there and other types. You know, where a Sigma will be like, in his mind he'll be like, fuck what you think. But out his mouth he'll say some things to kind of get that person that he's talking to looking at him like a leader and coming up under his wing.
Okay.
So your original question, before I went to that long tirade, was how you would go about you know, dealing with a Sigma, and it's and getting them to give you what you want. Sigmas will spoil the hell out of a woman that they understand, that they feel understands them. Sigmas are always searching to be understood.
Okay.
All right, especially from a woman, not as much from a man. From a man, they can really give a care, but from a woman, they want to be understood. Like, I want you to understand how I am, and if you can understand how I am and kind of ride with me the way that I am, I'll give you anything you want. That's it.
Huh. Okay. So let's see. We've got another question here. Wow. Why does he lose his erection when when she's like really feeling it and it sounds like she's kind of aggressive? He doesn't seem to be very interested.
Wow. Now, first of all, I have to ask you if this has ever happened. in your life?
No, because I'm not that aggressive like that.
No.
I mean, unless it's like, it's planned.
It's planned. It's
Like,
planned.
this is what
What
we're
did he
gonna
do? Did he
and
write
I'm
you like
buying
a
a costume.
He writes you like a
whip
menu.
and all
He
that.
wrote you a menu. Like I need whipped cream. I need that.
I'm just saying, like,
Halloween
it's not
costume
my,
from 2011.
it's not really like my thing to like chase men in that way. So like, I can let you know, hey, this is what needs to happen.
Okay.
But I'm telling you because I expect you to initiate what I just said I wanted to happen.
Ooh. I think I know your type. Let me ask you a question. Right? When you give him the laundry list, how do you give him the laundry list? Like the to-do list.
You know what? It depends, how we communicate. So because I, work from home and I tend to be involved with men who work like 9 to 5s, I usually give those cues throughout the day to break up his work day. So whether they come in pictures or videos of me, it's like that's kind of how I let him know when you get home, this is what needs to be going down.
This is the order of operations that should be taking place.
Yeah. Or,
Nice.
like, Skype break so he can go hide in the bathroom and, get one in.
Oh, okay. So you know what you are? You're a groomer. It's not a personality type, but that's what you are, love. We love groomers too. Groom me. Shit. All right. Well, listen. This is what I'm thinking, right? When I look at this question, so she's in a situation with this guy, and I assume everything is cool when he himself is the person that's in control. He himself is the person that is doing all the things to her. But when she starts to, when he does something almost kind of right, what we would call right in quotation marks, right? And she starts really feeling that emotion and becoming more gimme, like gimme, like women do this gimme thing, like you hit a gimme button, the next thing she's grabbing your neck and your back and your arm at the same time.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like at first, like the kisses are all soft and delicate. Man, you hit that gimme button and she's like putting her tongue down your throat and grabbing you by your neck.
That sounds like you are taking too long.
Okay, I definitely know your personality type now. All right. So the gimme button. He doesn't like the gimme button. It's also called the "you taking too damn long" button. AKA. Now, let's look at what personality types don't like being rushed and don't like being out of control. We can kind of go down from there. We talked about Sigma. And we said, okay, Sigmas like to be in control. They like to be the one that is initiating and putting the whole situation together, right? For the most part, you're talking about a one-on-one type interaction that they want to orchestrate it from beginning to end. The whole thing. So they're really imposing themselves upon you. It's like an imposition. And if for some reason you decide that, or their woman decides that they are going to take matters into their own hands and start doing the gimme thing, it's looked at by a Sigma as, wait, you don't respect what I'm putting down up in here. And not everybody gets this Sigma dick. Not everybody's getting this.
I'm sorry.
You are on a special list. You are on a special list to get this sigma right here. And you doing this gimme thing and, rushing me, you're acting like you're not appreciative. And the penis could lose some traction based upon those thoughts. Now, some sigmas will stop and say it. Other sigmas are going to be more passive, and they're just going to kind of limp up a little bit.
Wow.
All right. It's mental. A man's sexuality and his mental concept and his man-ness are kind of like one straight line with different dots in it. And if you kind of push one up or push one down, the lines become protracted, and stuff just doesn't work the same. So this guy could be a sigma. Now, the other type that it could be is that he could actually be an alpha too. Because alphas are strange because initially they want you to demonstrate their worth to them. They want you to demonstrate your worth. They want you to put the skills out there. But after you put the skills out there, when an alpha male decides that he's going to put it down, he looks at it very, very seriously. It's not a game, And if she decides to rush him or push him forward, during the process, then the alpha male can kind of feel as though she's trying to wrestle the control away. She's trying to play the male. She's trying to be the lion with the mane. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now let me ask you a question, love. Has there ever been a time before where you might have said something like, keep doing that, or don't stop, or right there during sex, and it affected the guy differently than you thought it would?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay. Well, a lot of times women don't necessarily have the best sexual communication when it comes to men. They use sexual communication they got from their mama and porn. Right, so your mama had that talk and be like, I don't know if y'all mama did this, but my mama definitely did this with my sisters. She'll have a talk with them that's kind of telling them how to egg their man on. And,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Here in Brazil, it's a people kind of teach their kids about sex, But anyway. All right. So the thing about it is that if you listen to all those statements that we use that we use in the United States, like don't stop, right there, harder, faster, you realize those are all orders.
Right. Direct orders.
Direct orders, like military grade orders, right? So you got a man with you, excuse me, he's an alpha or a sigma, and this guy is, putting his work in, and he is, using his strokes and trying to build you to some type of pleasure, and you start giving him orders, that can make an erection go down with those guys.
Oh, okay. So if she didn't really say like what is causing her to, whether it's just her personality type to kind of be more sexually aggressive, but since the guy is losing his erection, how should she interact with him? I mean, does that mean she just has to sit there and wait for it to happen?
Okay, so we talked about. You
can see I'm already annoyed.
Already. Hurry up. All right. So listen, Queen. Let me ask you. if you know he's a Sigma, and knowing that in conventional conversation, Sigmas really love women who cheerlead and motivate them to do what they're already doing, how do you feel that that could be used in a sexual situation?
Okay, so then she should really just be telling him about what she's liking about either what he's doing right now, what he's done in the past, how great he is.
Oh. Yes.
That kind of stuff.
Yes, yes. I think all guys like that, but Sigma specifically, just to piggyback, one thing that could be really effective for her is if she moaned a whole lot but didn't do a whole lot of gimme. So the whole gimme thing, man, listen, I can really mess a guy up. You got your stroke, and you're working your stroke to the music, right? Boom. In your mind, you're communicating with yourself like, I'm gonna make this woman come before I bust this nut. I am somebody. You give yourself to Jesse Jackson and everything. Next thing you know, you do some type of move and you hit that gimme button and she grabs your hips and pulls you in and starts gyrating. Bruh. It's like you gotta kind of be a little bit mad. I mean, it feels good as hell, but see, that shit is messing up your flow. A lot of guys might not make it. Some of them might get left on the beach. You feel me?
Wow.
You know? Some of them just.
So this is just a real like cheerleading kind of motivational.
You gotta be like
you
Japanese.
cheer them in the direction you want them to go.
You gotta be like a Japanese cheerleader. Like imagine a Japanese. This is no offense to Japanese American cheerleaders who participate in the American Cheerleading Federation within the United States. This is specifically for Japanese cheerleaders in Japan doing the Japanese traditional cheerleading style, right? And in that cheerleading style, you kind of be really still, and you look deep into his eyes and just moan along with the intensity of his stroke. Okay, so good. Okay. So look, love, I want you to play the Japanese cheerleader in Japan, and I'm gonna play the guy. I'm gonna give you a stroke, and based upon the intensity of this stroke, I need to give you a moan to kind of associate. Okay?
Right. Clearly, this is not compatible with my personality.
Wait. We're helping the adoring public that you have. Your listeners love you, and this is why. They love you because you do stuff that's completely out of your character, like moan like a Japanese woman.
But what are you really telling women? Like, if I'm just gonna sit here and moan, right?
Okay.
Moan
with intensity control. See, we have to give them the example first so that they get it. Okay, just real quick. Okay. Ready? Okay. Stroke. All right. You know. Stroke. Come on now.
Look, that was.
Come on now. I'm gonna give it to you again. Wait. Stroke. No. Come on. That was a deep baritone ass stroke. You gotta give me something.
Look, I can only moan as much as I can put in my laugh. Okay.
I mean, one more time. Okay. Ready? Stroke. Oh shit! I almost came.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you're making those noises and it's not that's for him, right? What if you're not really feeling that?
Now here's the thing.
Then it's like a whole faking it thing.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that we're taking into consideration that this man knows how to use his penis. He knows what he's doing, right? He's building you towards something. So what you're doing is kind of putting coal into his fire, right? We're not talking about some type of guy that doesn't know how to please you. This is a guy that you know knows how to please you, And what you're doing is you keeping him motivated to get you to where you gotta go. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like you are literally cheerleading him as he runs the ball to the touchdown.
And this is a Sigma man that we're talking about, because you said alphas kind of can lose it too, but it sounds like this is more typical of a Sigma.
It's more typical of a Sigma. And the thing is this is a big difference between Sigmas and alphas. And a lot of you all, if you all don't know about these personality types, there's a book that the lovely Ms. Lamille is putting on the market along with myself that kind of goes deeper into the different aspects of these types. But for those of you that don't know, there is a difference between these really machismo types that you queens really like. These guys that are very like sweep you off your feet, put you in a corner and kiss you type guys. Now, there's some of them that are, the word's not overbearing, but the word is more aggressive than others. A lot of times, the more aggressive type of quote unquote alpha males, those are really the Sigmas. And they're going to want to be the lion in the bedroom. Whereas alphas often, they like a performance. Alphas like a performance. Alphas are going to want to watch you do all types of stuff first. And then, when they're like, yes, I approve, right? Then they go into their bag and they'll put it down. And alphas are very confident with their sex game, so they will put it down, but they are more the type to kind of hold it back, to kind of think about what level they're going to put the dick on you. I'm not going to give her the porridge version, or would I give her the filet mignon? They're thinking about it like that. Like they're literally reciprocal in the bedroom. An alpha dude, they feel like their strokes have value. So they're gonna bring it how you bring it. They're gonna bring it how you bring it. If you bring it, they're gonna bring it. But if you bring it, they're gonna bring it. They'll be like, and they'll do it on purpose because they'll feel like, you kind of wasted my time. Why am I going to go ahead and invest all of this good loving in you when you really ain't acting like you want that?
That is so interesting. First of all, I mean, on a lot of levels, I really have never even considered that men are given that much thought to how they are about to deliver whatever it is, or the intensity of what they're delivering.
What I'm trying to say is that a lot of it is psychosomatic. I'm not trying to say that. There's some of us that do, but a lot of it is psychosomatic. Like a lot of us, it kind of happens in a vacuum. You're basically you're there, right? And you had this woman text you for, at work for a couple of weeks, like, when you stop faking, I'm gonna suck the soul out of your body, and you're like, you better, after a while, you kind of give in and be like, okay, I'm gonna see what's up with that. So, you're there, and your soul is looking at it like, all right, I'm ready to be sucked out. When is this happening? Like, when am I gonna get? Your soul is talking to your rest of your body like this. I don't think. What do you see? I came to this party for this shit. I'm sitting here standing on the wall, right? So after that, she's like, all right. So she's like, after that, she's looking at you. She's hiking up her skirt, like, expecting for you to kind of, dig deep into like, the depths of your abilities, and you like, for what? This is like, and it's not something that I'm saying that they're like thinking of strategically. It's basically almost kind of like a respect type thing if they look at it like that.
Okay. So we've got one more question that just came up. She says, my guy never initiates sex, so I kind of feel like the man in our sexual relationship.
Have you ever been in a situation before?
Well, I have been in a relationship where I felt like I was the man. I wasn't having to initiate sex, but I did feel like I was the man. I was like, this is not gonna work for me.
All right, all right, all right. Listen, have you ever been in a situation where you had like a weak initiation, like a Mr. Burns initiation? Like, can you imagine how Mr. Burns from The Simpsons would initiate sex? Like, he's like this old
I
crusty
don't even know
billionaire
who
that's
that
like,
is.
oh, you don't know? Okay, Mr. Burns is the crusty billionaire from The Simpsons. Okay, so like, imagine, have you ever been in a situation with the initiation is just hella weak? Like, you want to mess around?
Oh my God.
Or like, here's one. So, are you feeling foxy?
Uh-uh. Even if I was a little bit, you just killed that shit. It's over.
The fox that ran off.
It's not gonna happen. It won't
The
happen.
fox took off.
I will be like, I'm out of there. It's like, it's not.
Like, I can
And
tell.
then,
Go
and
ahead.
that with that particular person, it's like, no, and now I'm completely turned off. And then it kind of turns into like this whole begging situation.
Yes, that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was gonna do. Is the begging.
Yes. Yeah. It's like,
But listen,
it's
some
such
of
a
you
turn off.
queens, some of you ladies listening love a begging ass person. Y'all love a beggar. Some of y'all love a beggar. Some of y'all love a beggar. And some of y'all be taking advantage of beggars. They'd be like, it's been so long. I just want to taste you. I just need to have you in my mouth. And y'all be like, I need to have my hair more flattened. Like, I don't know how y'all would say it. I need to have my hair. I need my car detailed
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'm not saying y'all would say it like that, but I'm like, a lot of y'all be kind of like, y'all be using that begging to kind of get stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But it's the beggar. I remember the beggar. He was like, you know what? If you just tell me what it is I have to do for you to want to do it, I'll do whatever that is. I was like, go home.
Oh man, so you could have been.
But my girlfriend was like, no, that's when you give him a list of stuff, because she likes those kind of men. And I'm like,
Because
he wanted to be rewarded, really,
yeah,
is
he wants to be
basically what he was
rewarded.
saying.
Exactly. Let me
He
ask
was
you a
like,
question. Why didn't you I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, you have this guy that's kind of like so infatuated with you that he wants to please you in order to please himself.
he honestly had, in my opinion, he had so much feminine energy that I was like, I don't want to be the man in the relationship. I just don't. I don't want to be the one who finally, has to put my foot down about everything, who has to give direction, who has to, all the time. No, I don't want to be I have no desire to be the man in my relationship. I would date a woman before I dated a man that I had to be the man of.
Okay, that's a whole nother show we need to do. Because there's so much in that. I need to just back up off of that and forget you said that. Because there's so much in that. Oh my God. Okay. Going back to what you said the first time, when you said that you were dealing with this begging ass brother, and there was a situation where he himself wanted to be with you, be on you, have you in his mouth, all those things so bad that he just said, just tell me what you want me to do. Queen, that is a time right there where you can correct a lot of the quirks in his behavior, even outside of the bedroom. Because you can directly relate it back to what turns you on or not. For instance, this is a huge opportunity. I'm just saying. It's a huge opportunity. I'll give you an example, right? If he's a type of guy where, like you said just now, you don't like being a decision maker. Well, you didn't say that, because you are a decision maker. I know you. Let me retract that statement. You don't like being the man in the relationship. Now, that means a whole lot of stuff. Let's just take one thing. For instance, when y'all are going out, you don't want to be asked over and over again where you want to go. You want that man to know the type of foods that you like and to pick some place that he feels confident that you will enjoy. Am I right?
Yes.
Boom. Okay, now, when he's in that situation, on his knees, begging, kissing on your kneecaps. Oh, shit.
I'm in tears right now because that guy ended up on his knees on the front porch, and my kids were looking at him out the window, laughing at him.
Oh my God.
And he did not even seem to care. It was just, tell me what you want me to do. I was like, please go home.
I don't know what type of fire you put on that man, but you should have turned the temperature down. God damn. Goodness gracious. My man was on it. Listen, I mean, I can personally. Okay, so look, this is what I'm saying, right? Is when he's in that position, what you found is that you have a certain amount of ability to help him become better for your relationship. Now, it's not like this guy wasn't for you, but let's say in the situation where the guy has a lot of traits and things that you do enjoy. But then there's these other things that really, really kind of bend you out of shape. Well, you can directly relate those things that he does to bend you out of shape to the reason how come you don't feel comfortable opening up to him the way that you could sexually. And it'll make sense. For example, I need you to start making decisions and stop asking me to make decisions that you should be making. Because see, when you don't make those decisions, it makes me feel like you don't know how to handle me. And that completely turns me off. Right now, we could be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, blah. Name it too, name that shit. But you need to step up to the plate. I know it's in you. I know you have what it takes, but you need to have confidence in yourself and do what you know needs to be done, and that's going to make me want to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But as of right now, I'm not ready. Let me tell you something. He gonna go to like a hypnotherapist, and he gonna have that shit programmed in his ass.
Wow.
Because he's drawing the connection. And that's one of the reasons why we do this show. Because you queens have an innate ability to communicate into a man in a way that man will understand like no other person or people or being on the planet. Because you can look at his personality and you can speak into who he is as an individual. That beta male we're talking about right now, you're speaking into him in a way that a beta male is going to understand, comprehend. Understand and comprehend. Okay? So we're talking so what we're basically describing right now, and this is why this is a wonderful question, and I'm glad that the lady that sent it in asked it, is because she is dealing with a beta male. She has reasons that this beta male is not turning her on, is not making her open up sexually. And now she has a methodology to help him understand why, if he wants to be with her, why he needs to learn to do these things as a communication to let her know that he's ready for her to receive it.
Wow, that's a lot.
All of you queens have to know that us guys, we're all different. And it's not enough for us to just hear you talking. If it's going in one ear and out the other. We have to comprehend. When men comprehend, when they understand, it's over, it's done. The times that we don't is when it goes over our head or it doesn't connect with us. And most times that's because we are being communicated in a way, we are being communicated with in a way that isn't meant for us as individuals, isn't meant for our specific personality. So we're missing the message because the dialect isn't right.
So it sounds like every woman listening needs to get a copy of this book.
Well, I mean, if not, then they keep listening to the show because we're going to tap on new concepts and new questions regularly. And the book can be helpful because it's like a guide that you can kind of go through and get more in depth about the different types. We talk about it all the time. But the most important thing is whether they pick the book up or not, is that they start looking at men as not just being men.
And so it also sounds like, though, the key here is you've got to have some chemistry. Like, the example that I was just giving, like, he was an attractive guy, but it just wasn't enough there. Like, what you were describing would have needed to have been done was just way too much, way more than what I was willing to put into that particular situation. But if you have a situation where there's a lot of chemistry and you care about him, clearly there are some things that we can do as women to cause things to flow the way that we would like them to flow and to kind of help him better himself at the same time.
Totally agree. But just to add lib, is that first of all, that was a great assessment, and that's totally right. I just want to piggyback on it by saying that in some situations, you might not necessarily need to be infatuated with the guy or have all this chemistry. You might just see certain things that could actually initiate that chemistry were they to emerge. You hear a lot of women say that he'd be perfect if.
Right.
Now, being able to communicate into that man can deal with some of those ifs. So you can actually see, you can get a better view of if this would be a good guy for you by, the word would be, incentivize isn't really a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. By incentivizing him, right, to take one step toward you. By incentivizing him, yeah.
You said by your made-up word.
By made-up word. Y'all know what it means, though. Incentivize.
Incentivize. So, I guess next show we're going to have to talk about how do you actually do that, because clearly, we got some questions and it's like, there's a way for us to interact with him to kind of counter and get our point across in a way that he understands based on his personality type. But now, like what you're saying in the term of, or in the way of whatever that word.
Incentivize. Yeah. I'm making it a t-shirt.
So, by giving this man some incentives,
yes,
we can actually kind of fill the gaps that, we feel may be there in the relationship. So, we definitely need to explore more about what that how is.
Ooh, I think that's a great topic, and it's something that you guys can use not just in your relationships, but in your careers. You can use it in your careers. You can use this on your boss. You can use this on your manager. You can use this to be able to get proposals across the desk with people that you never thought was possible. You queens have an innate ability to speak into people. And one of the keys is understanding their personality type.
Wow. So that's great. Um, I don't think we have anything else for this show, so we'll see you guys on the next show.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next
And
show.
if you're interested in getting the book, click the link below.
Fantastic. Love, why don't you tell them some place they can find out more about you and all the amazing stuff that you're up to these days?
They can find me Lamiel everywhere.
Oh, well.
So, Lamiel.com. I'm on Instagram as Lamiel. I also have a fan page, which is Lamiel's, and Sensual Play with Kim Say is on Facebook, and it's the website. So you can check me out there.
Fantastic. I'm going to check out that Sensual Play. That sounds nice. My name is Montique Stefan. You can find me on Facebook as Montique Stefan. And if you want to get in shape and lose some pounds, you can check out my website at www.zenityfitness.com. We specialize in workouts for men, women, and couples that keep the flame and heat on at night and simultaneously help you to burn off those calories and keep everything nice and tight. Queen, I want to thank you so much for having me on the show, and really can't wait to speak to you more about this really interesting topic.
Great. So we're done?
Yeah, everybody. So thanks. We're done. Take care, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.